Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the AJW part number UG3X-A. This happens to be a 36-inch model, so this part number would be UG3X-A36. 36 in that part number is the length of the bar, very common and typical. This happens to be an 1.5 inch diameter, concealed snap flange with a peened grip surface. You can see the contrast between the peened area and the non-peened area. I can tell you that the amount of slip resistance is noticeably greater over the peened surface. Noticeably, that's just the bottom line. If you're looking for a bar that will give you the greatest benefit with the least discomfort to the user, you'll want a combination of AJW's peened surface and 1.5 inch diameter. The peened will give you that anti-slip resistance. The 1.5 inch diameter gives you a greater diameter versus 1.25 inch or 1 inch bars, and the greater surface area causes less discomfort for the user. The elderly will certainly appreciate, the fact that it's less painful on their hands when they're using the bars as support, is the bottom line. Now this series of bar, the A bar, is available, and we'll go over what that means. 12 inch, 16 inch, 18 inch, 24 inch, 30 inch, 32, 36, 42, 48, 50, 52, 54, and 56. So a dozen different lengths for this bar. Now there is a series of links below this video. Let's look at first the tech sheet, if you would. The tech sheet will give you the overview summary of what exactly this UG3 series bar is, and it's going to tell you that you're dealing with a bar that is going to be 1.5 inch outside diameter, that it's going to be 18 gauge stainless steel for the tube with a satin finish. So let's discuss that. 1.5 inch diameter with a brushed satin finish. Okay. The flanges. This is the flange, the snap flange style, which is also inferred in the part number. 3 inch diameter. Okay. The offset on this bar is going to be 1.5 inch. So from the wall to the inside of the bar, the clearance is what that's called, is 1.5 inch. This will, when it's properly installed, be able to support up to 900 pounds actually. And when you're dealing with a bar like this, a straight, relatively short bar, bars with offsets or angles or longer lengths, the weight range or load rating for that is generally closer to 250 pounds, which is mentioned in the tech sheet. The installation is simple and straightforward. It tells you to basically install them in compliance with code. 33 to 36 inch center line from the finished floor to the center line of the bar. That would be the range, and that would give you a handicap compliant, an ADA compliant installation aspect. The tech sheet also gives additional information in the sense that it shows the 3 mounting points that are on the welded flange. That flange is all welded on the inside. And then refers to other information that we've already discussed. I do want to point out that the length is the center. So it's 36 inch from the center of this bar, center of the mounting flange to the other center of the mounting flange. So if this is 3 inch diameter, you know that the overall length would be 39 inch. Okay. Now, the tech sheet is handy in the regard that it will show you all that information. Moving on to let's look at the grab bar configuration. You know what, let's skip that. let's leave the grab bar configuration for now. Go to the product brochure. The product brochure is a catalog of the grab bars from AJW. Very handy and helpful. Page 1, and the reason I want to go to that first is because it gives us the table by which grab bars are determined, meaning how do you come up with the part number to accurately represent what you need. So the easy way for me is to just look at the flange style column. You'll see that there are 3 options. Concealed snap flange, which is this style. Concealed set screw, which is basically going to be, imagine this snap flange. Imagine this knot here. The snap flange would be welded to the bar. There would be loose mounting points that would have a beveled perimeter, and there would be, once you took those loose mounting plates and mounted those to the wall, the grab bar would fit over the plates, and then in each flange there are 3 drilled and tapped set screws that you would use to tighten and then secure the bar to the wall. That's the concealed set screw. Then there's exposed, where there's literally just, it's going to look just like this pretty much. It'll be a bit more finished, but it will look just like this, okay, with exposed screw heads. No doubt, the most common is the concealed snap flange, this style, no doubt. You can see then, the next column over, that you've got 3 diameter choices. Not in every flange type, but inch, inch and a quarter, inch and a half. You can then determine what diameter do you need. You can then get the series part number. So you can see, if we're dealing with an 1.5 inch bar that's a concealed snap flange, it has to be a UG3. That's where the UG3 comes from. And as you change the flange type, the part number changes. The X, UG3X, when you scroll down a bit and look at the finish, when you add the X, you're getting the peened safety grip. Okay. After that, dash A, that's where the link to the grab bar configuration comes in. When you look at that document, and it's also on the second page of the product brochure, you can see that the A type is just a straight bar from within that range of 12 inch to about 54 inch. I forgot what the maximum was. If you need to do like a 72 inch, it's not going to be an A bar anymore. It'll be a B bar because they add that center mounting post. So it could be a UG3X-B72. That would be valid. And then you can see how you change the letter, the shape of the bar changes. And it's all simple and straightforward. And that really is the conclusion of how you determine the bar type. What is important to know, and you'll see on page 2 of the product brochure, is how they're determining all the dimensional properties. You are dealing with center lines. Okay, so in an L1 or an A or a B bar, you're going from the center of the flange to the center of the flange, as we discussed earlier. The C bar, the center of the perpendicular wall to the wall face of the opposite 90-degree wall. When you're looking at an N-type bar, a straddle over a commode type bar, you know, that L2 is again center to center. L1 is the same as we discussed in the C type. And then L3 is going to be the floor to the center line of the horizontal bar. So keep in mind, when you study, keep in mind that's how these dimensions are defined. And when you study the bar, you'll study this chart, you'll quickly realize, okay, I've got it. Simple and straightforward is how this is done. So center lines is really what you're dealing with when it comes to dimensional properties. Speaking about that, there's a link to a document called Measurement Guide, which goes over in detail what we just said so that you can review that information so that you have a point of clairvoyance, I suppose, regarding how this is done. The only thing that's not referred to as a center line really is that offset or the clearance. You know, how much room you have between the back of the bar and the face of the wall. 1.5 inches is what that is. And that will always remain constant independent of the diameter of the bar. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's important because your dimensional properties will, your understanding of properties will change in the sense of what's the diameter of the bar when it comes to a position of, say, from the wall to the outside of the bar. You might need to know that dimension. So it's going to be 1.5 inches plus your bar diameter. So that's you would need to calculate that, or at least understand that. And then we've covered all four technical drawings or links that are there. This video is to give you a visual reference of what an A-type bar looks like with an X peened grip finish. Discusses how you arrive at part number should you need to deviate and pick up a different type bar. The R-type bar is very common, which is the Florida wall. The Florida wall with the outrigger is the S-type. Those are not uncommon. Obviously, the A-type is most common. The B-type is fairly common. The R and the S-types are common. The U-type is not uncommon either. And then your Y and X with those special mounting points, those can be done as well. Everything else is fairly, for me in my experience, less common. Everything else kind of falls together. Now, finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the AJW products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Now, the full product catalog is handy because it will allow you to review all things AJW, a company to which I'm partial because they have a confluence of many excellent characteristics: value, quality, customer service, prompt, predictable, reliable shipping lead times, okay? The ability to occasionally make a miracle happen. And we do not encourage at all requesting miracles, but occasionally, a company that has the ability to be nimble enough to help out in a certain situation when it's possible is remarkable, and they currently possess that ability, which I'm quite grateful for. Technical support, very good as well. If there's ever a technical question, they always respond back. And the customer service rep team there is phenomenal. But the takeaway why you will continue to use AJW is because that confluence of price, value, and prompt, predictable, reliable shipping lead times. You can always depend on them for that weak manufacturing and shipping process. And if you're in the construction industry and you're looking for something to ship today when it's made to order, you're generally out of luck. But not necessarily always when it comes to AJW. If we can be of any help on AJW products, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.